Satnam, everyone. Satnam, Satnam. Mataji here, Otis here. Can you see Otis?
Yes.
Here's Otis. Odie! That's my buddy right here. He's embarrassed now. I'm making him self-conscious. Anyway, welcome to the Mataji Sanctuary here in the Golden Heart of Las Vegas. And I'm beaming to you from my heart to yours in regards to, it is Pride Month in June, and I'm acknowledging the celebration of all things gender related and the very non-binary fluidity that is ongoing and ensuing in this realm of identifying with your sexuality. When we practice Kundalini Yoga, it's very much about working with your sexual energy because the Kundalini sits at the base of the spine in a 3.5 coiled pattern, and she sleeps there. She's laying there waiting to be awakened. And when she is stimulated or initiated, activated, which is a self-initiation and self-activation process, she begins to rise in a 3.5 cycle pattern, taking this highly charged sexual energy and also the root chakra energy as well as the navel point energy. She starts to really rise up in this 3.5 cycle pattern, weaving her way through your body internally, bringing on all sorts of things online as she makes her way to your crown. So essentially what happens is she starts to activate all the energy centers that are lying between where she starts to move upward to the crown, which are essentially your chakra energy centers, as well as your left side energy channel, which is associated with the moon, and your feminine energy, and then it's known as the IDA, and then the right side is your solar channel, your masculine energy, known as the Pingala, and the center channel, which is the primary residence of the spinal cord, as well as the 7 chakra centers, the wheels, the vortices of highly charged energy that affect all of your bodily systems as well as your mental and physical health. So these start to all come online in a heightened way, meaning that they've been stimulated and activated to be more in balance and cohesive with each other. And so when we have this activation, we turn on. We essentially start to feel, wow, I'm feeling something, and hopefully you're feeling good in that sense of heightened experience of just energetic charge. And that can feel, in a sense, it can be like a tingling sensation. You can feel warm, you can feel cold. Maybe you feel like you want to laugh or even cry, or I don't know, it could just be like this sense of, wow, I just feel supercharged right now. That's typically what happens with me, is that I get a real tingly turn on sensation. I'm very clear as it starts to come online. My brain fog, if I have any, totally dissipates. And my intuition, the pituitary gland, which is the primary gland, the command post gland of all the glandular system, really starts to beam, and it signals the pineal gland, which is in the very center of my brain, which is my inner sun of the brain. It starts to spin. So lots happen when we move into a Kundalini charged activation experience. And where does all this come into play with gender fluidity? Well, I'll share that with you now. So we have male form and female form, in the human biology. And we're just going to talk biology here. So when we have male form, for example, primarily the energy balances in that, because we are polarities always. There's always some sort of a polarity in everything. There's a good and a bad, a right and a left, an up and a down, a negative and positive, all the things. So in this case, we're talking energetic charge. So let's go with that concept. The male biological form typically, and I say that loosely, holds 60% more dominant masculine energy, 40% lesser dominant female energy. And this has to do with the left and the right brain, right? And then the female form has the opposite typically. We have 60% feminine energy and 40% masculine energy. And these are again very much associated with the left and the right brain dominance, which direct connectly to your breath. I mean, I can just go on and on. It's so fascinating because you can control what side of the brain is dominant with the nostrils. And you can also push yourself in your armpits and make the left and the right nostrils shift in their dominance. Because your nostril dominance, which means your left and right brain dominance, shifts about approximately every 2.5 hours. You've got a little shift happening. And as yogis, we are very conscious of how when we breathe consciously, we just have that awareness of moving through our day with that awareness of how it is that we want to master the day. Let's say that we've got to go into a really important meeting in a corporate setting, or just maybe you're having to give a presentation, you're in sales and you've got to go in and give a big pitch. And you realize that your feminine brain is more dominant at that time, which isn't a bad thing, but really, actually, you want to have a little bit more of an edge. The right brain is more dominant with the feminine aspect, the creative aspect, out of the box. But you really need to perhaps feel that coming in to launch this presentation or whatever your communication pitch, you want to be more into the left brain, very logical, very analytical, very straightforward. And then maybe you can shift back into the creative aspect of, taking that very linear into a non-linear perspective. So this is where we understand that we can utilize that perception and the ability to shift the masculine energy, feminine energy, left, right brain, in that case, into working for us. And it's quite simple. And you can just, maybe you sit there in the meeting and you're just gently pressing into your armpits, and you'll create a shift in your nostrils. You can mentally align and direct your nostrils to open more so than the other. Now, where you really, really want to full on be completely 100% in your A game is when both left and right hemispheres of the brain are in perfect balance. You're in a neutral state. And when you're in that neutral state, basically it's a balance of the gender as far as masculine, feminine, and you're coming from the heart. And you're projecting your energy, your auric field, and your radiance to express that. And you will win the day. So try it. Try really being conscious of how you can alternate the breath dominance in your through the nose. And I strongly recommend that you do some sort of a breath practice every day. I really recommend breath of fire, or I recommend Sitali pranayama, which is where you curl the tongue and you breathe in through the tongue and out through the nose, as well as alternate nostril breathing, which is called Nadi Shodhana. But what I want to talk to you about today is, in the previous teachings, which were very old school, coming out of India, it was very masculine, very male dominated, the yoga, and not necessarily given for women to practice, even though now it's primarily women that are practicing yoga and not so much men, particularly in the West. So we have specific guidance in a lot of the kriyas to men do it one way and women do it another way, particularly like if you do these gestures with the hands, which are known as mudras. This is a whole nother science. I want to share with you today that in regards to honoring and acknowledging that gender fluidity is a real thing. Jen has given me permission to give her a shout out that she's openly queer. And this is a first for me, because growing up in the Bible Belt and growing up in a pretty restrictive viewpoint of sexuality, which I've spent literally my entire life up to this point to broaden that scope, because I never felt tied to that from the get-go and always questioned it and constantly getting reprimanded for questioning that. I do identify fully as a woman, and my pronouns are she, her, but you know, we do have clientele that comes here that are trans, that have gone through transition and identify they, them. I just see the person. I mean, honestly, but I want to be respectful that if someone has gone through the effort of shifting their identity, what they're presenting to the world as in their free expression of themselves, their true selves, then by all means, you be you. It's no problem at all. So let's just address, there's one Kriya in particular that is the gem of Kriyas, especially when it comes to balancing your sexual energy and supercharging your sexual energy, because you really do want to be turned on. You want to be turned on 24/7. You really do. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you're having orgasms, although I highly recommend that you have orgasms as much as possible. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're climaxing. It just means that you're in an orgasmic state of heightened ecstasy and heightened sensuality and pleasure. It's a big deal to be in that state, and I'm all for it. But Sat Kriya is the primary Kriya that we recommend for when people do have phobia around their sexuality. And Lord knows in the West, particularly the United States, we are just fucking uptight in that, you know, in that whole arena. Gee whiz, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? That's a whole nother conversation that I really don't want to get into publicly. I can have these conversations privately, but publicly I'm not interested to do that. But I do want to address this Sat Kriya. And so Sat Kriya has a very specific hand gesture for men and women. And the way that I teach it is we interlace our fingers, and right when I interlace my fingers, my left thumb ends up being on top. And then I extend the Jupiter fingers, the two index fingers, and they stack next to each other. So when I'm in this Kriya, or in this posture, which the arms are extended, and my left thumb is on top, you can see that. See that? Yep. Then I am primarily focusing on my sacred feminine, on my feminine energy. I'm really focusing a little bit more on my right brain, Ida channel, which is my feminine energy channel. I love all things the goddess, but I'm also conscious that the God has both masculine and feminine depicted or held in that space of the God. It's not just father, but whatever. That's my belief. And everybody's got a BS, right? Belief system? That's mine. Okay, now, if you wanted to shift, let's say that, oh man, I really want to be more in my masculine energy right now at this moment, then all I'm simply going to do is interlace my fingers with the left little finger on the bottom. See that? And now my right thumb is on the top. I'm still going to stack my two index fingers, boom, just like that. And now I'm very much directed to the left brain and my solar energy. And it's that simple. And then sut, nam, and we do that for about 11 minutes, 22 minutes, 62 minutes. Fabulous. And all the while, we're really stimulating all the chakra centers, and we're stimulating not only just the primary focus of either the masculine or feminine, but all the energies are starting to come into a congruence state of harmony and balance. And you're really supercharging your sexual creativity. It's a turn on. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I've got for you to understand how you can utilize this Kriya information, this yogic technology and application to gender fluidity. And there are other Kriyas that are very, very specific. Men do it this way, women do it this way. And again, I'll just deliver it just as it's taught to me, because I do not want to interfere or shift or change the authenticity. I'm very much about the integrity of these were delivered by a master. I don't claim to be a master teacher at all. If anything, I'm the master of my own space, But as a teacher, I need to be a conduit for the integrity teachings, authentic teachings that are coming through, and how they're presented to me from that source. That's how they're delivered. That's really important to me. But I do share that you have the perspective, the lens of understanding why you're doing what you're doing and what it is. It's your choice, it's your practice. You know, how do you want to apply that in this moment? It is Pride Month, and I honor all the beings on this planet and I have a lot of compassion for people who are in process of really trying to identify with their true sexual nature and present that to the world in a way that's safe, that's respected, that's honored, and that is love. This is all expressions of love, always. And the way of love is unconditional, and we love everyone just as they are, just with their authenticity. So check out the Mataji Sanctuary on the website, as well as on YouTube, on Facebook, obviously we're on TikTok. Big news, we just launched a podcast, Jen and I did, and it's going to be available to you after the summer solstice, which is going to be towards the end of this month. And we're really excited about it. It's known as Holy Mojo with an exclamation point, and we are going to be bridging the mystical teachings with ancient occult. Because Jen is an active practicing witch, and I practice all the esoteric mystical teachings of yoga, which are very magical and also very much part of the under the banner of occult practices. It's fascinating how we're going to be creating conversation and, you know, riffing and yapping about all that stuff. And then we'll take your questions on that podcast, which it is on our website now, and there's going to be more information added to it because we're just in launching phase, but we're super excited about it. Okay, well, go in beauty. Peace be with you until we meet again in the light of our hearts in Satnam. May peace prevail on earth.